we think that a major trend in the future will be what we call X-Internet, or extended Internet. And that's the idea of integrating the physical world with the digital world. So because as today, obviously, we all have our laptops and we all have our cell phones, but there are many other objects to be actually integrated into the Internet, including jet engines. Watches, in fact, will be a very big battleground in the future. And so we're going to bring the world of people and physical objects. The leading edge of X-Internet, of course, is RFID. So the first place where we're seeing X-Internet have an effect is in the retail world.
Right.
And of course in Walmart, it's case tagging. In Metro Group in Germany, in fact, it's item level tagging. So this is a very, that's the first industry where it's going to affect. But essentially, it's going to affect many other industries, especially the medical instrumentation industry, because your pacemaker will have a chip in the future connected to the Internet. Heavy equipment, we're seeing it embedded in Kubota and Caterpillar tractors, actually with telemetry and GPS to essentially control those assets, if you will, for large companies. Here's a good example. In hospitals, they have these machines that they're a big problem because they're very expensive and they lose them. It's not that people steal them; it's just that they can't find them. So in several large hospitals in the U.S. now, they're putting chips in all of those, and they actually are able to locate them very, very easily in the hospital. So by the way, this is not a futuristic thing. This is happening today. In fact, the University of Alabama has devices which they're embedding in people. For heart rate and for blood pressure, and actually they're called infusers, by the way, to infuse medicine into people. So X-Internet is a very big trend that Forrester is watching right now.
Yeah, because RFID, of course, is probably going to facilitate saving for the company. Yeah. But you see, as a technology and also the future evolution of this technology will habilitate some major advances in the methodology the company will can use.
Yeah, it's a great question. So, do you know what SOA is? Services-oriented architectures?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and we talked about this a year ago, but bow ties to diamonds. If you go to a diamond-shaped relationship, that's where a company sells a jet engine or sells a tractor, but then after they've made the sale, they then can service that jet engine or tractor. As it turns out, that only really works if you're able to embed these chips into those things you've sold, so they can communicate back to the original seller, so the seller can then come in and service those assets, essentially.
I see.
So that's a very different business model. That means that large companies can sell essentially heavy equipment or other objects, but they then can also service those objects after the sale is made. And that's a very big business model change. If you look at General Electric today is about 50% services, 50% products. If you look at General Electric 20 years ago, it was 90% products and only 10% services. So that's the big business model change, is this movement from products to services. We call that bow ties to diamonds.